Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Real Wisdom Artificial Intelligence. Last month, for those of you who have been following me along on this series, represented a breakthrough on many levels, analyzing each dose of Rashmi through the three-layer Rashmi attention identity architecture. And that led to not just growth mindset plus plus as the layer three of the Rashmi hierarchy becoming solidified. It eventually led to this concept of creating Rashmi Mirror, which we are building right now as a product that will help everybody with the bridge practice that I'm calling Rashmi to get to this growth mindset plus plus and to become conscious leaders approaching every situation with what we are calling integrated intelligence and then use AI. So that to us is the model of human and AI collaboration. And that's what March represented. Now, starting in April, as I've been doing over the last couple of insights, what I expect to do is really now focus on drawing the contrast between intellect, which is the mental, logical mind's intelligence, which is what the modern day definition of intelligence has been predominantly focused on, and that is what has given rise to artificial intelligence, which is an amazing piece of technology, and we should absolutely use artificial intelligence. So this series is pro artificial intelligence. We should use artificial intelligence to aid with the memory-based pattern matching intelligence while unlocking the other dimensions which come from the heart as well as the gut and unlock the dimensions related to feeling and intuitions that we are all capable of as human beings, and then lead AI tools from this integrated human intelligence, which is the Rashmi level intelligence. So now let's go ahead, get started for today. And this entire month, I'm going to be focusing on this contrast between intellect and integrated intelligence. So today's dose of Rashmi is intellect is a tool for performing any activity while calculating what am I going to get out of this activity. Integrated intelligence, on the other hand, is engaging with any activity and unlocking the joy of the activity by engaging with activities which come out of complete alignment. So if you look at this particular contrast, the way I've drawn intellect and integrated intelligence here. The Bhagavad Gita definition of being fully engaged with activities without focusing on outcomes will resonate to many of you. And that is really the difference. When we lead purely from our mental faculty and the logical intellect, then we automatically are always treating an activity as something that where we are giving our effort, our energy. So we logically, of course, start assuming and calculating what are we going to get out of this activity. And the basic premise there is that the activity that you perform is a give. So you must take something in return. And that's why you're performing the activity. However, as I have been saying throughout this series, the unique ability that we human beings possess is that we can perform activity and come out more energized after performing that activity. And that happens when we perform activities which come out of complete alignment across our body, mind, emotions, and energy. And that is a very regenerative, energy enhancing activity. When you do that, you're fully engaged in the activity without treating the activity as a give and take. And that is what each one of us is capable of. If we can really get in touch with our intelligence, that is an integration of our heart, gut, and mind, and whatever arises out of that place that you genuinely care about, perform that activity. That is going to be energy enhancing for you. And you're not going to be worried about what are you going to get in return. The return is that you're getting to perform the activity, and you're going to be grateful for having the opportunity to perform that activity. And that, in the context of artificial intelligence, So if you think of all the other artificial intelligence tools which are out there right now, they are all always engaging your attention, and they all end with a question which makes you get engaged further into the tool. Because the idea behind all of these tools is to maximize the valuation for that company, and that happens when you consume more and more tokens and consume more and more of their tool. Because they are giving you a service, they need to get something back in return in terms of the value, that is the economic value. So they need to justify the subscription that you're paying them for by constantly keeping you engaged in this particular tool. And that is where the decision we have made with the Rashmi Mirror is, it is a tool by design. By design, it is not supposed to grab your attention. All it is supposed to do is, you have a situation that you're facing and you want some assistance to unlock the answer that is within you. And this tool is going to help you come to that answer by asking you questions which help you look at this from your logical mind, from your emotional heart, and from your intuitive gut. So once you have examined it from all of those dimensions, you have the answer, you make the decision. And that's all the tool is expected to do. That's why it's not personalized. It is not keeping any memory about you. It is not designed to grab your attention at all, because it is not a give and take. For us, developing this tool itself is an energy enhancing experience, and we want each one of the human beings who are using this tool to feel that way while working with this tool. Not that this tool is grabbing their attention. They should feel like they came out after the interaction with this tool with some amount of clarity that they did not have otherwise. And that is what I've been saying through this series, and what I've developed in terms of the wisdom led operating model. That if we build products using the wisdom led operating model, we can all build products which are genuinely products that whoever is building the product, an individual or an organization, will genuinely build it out of complete alignment, and they're going to be grateful for just the experience of building that product. And sure, economic value will follow. However, we don't have to start building every product with a view of a transactional intent. That is the shift that we are trying to make through this Rashmi journey from intelligence to consciousness. Thank you.